Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPa here again, and today I want to talk about the brand new Helldivers 2 update we got last night alongside the Game Awards, because it is incredibly fun and really rejuvenates the game, as there is a new enemy type, there's a new war bond, there are vehicles in the game, so many changes that I feel like it's the perfect time to jump back in and dive once again into the world of Helldivers 2. And I'm not just saying that because I think the game is much improved since a lot of people likely last played it, but also because the way the game plays with the new enemies is much different, which I also very much enjoy. So if you didn't know, they added the Illuminate with the major update last night, which is the third enemy faction. This one is an alien race that actually mind controls humans, so you're almost playing a zombie mode at times with waves and waves of enemies charging forward at you. It is absolutely hilarious and quite a bit of fun. Plus, there are some big tanky enemies as well. There's a lot of really good variety within the Illuminate, which I really appreciate, because there's these floating orbs that can spot you and then electrocute you. There are the zombie humans. There's these giant walkers that can absolutely devastate your team. So it is great fun, and I do feel like this is an addition that was much needed for this game. Now, I was hopeful that they would have come a bit earlier, but we are less than a year old with this game, so I'm not surprised it's taken a little bit longer, especially now that they've added the new maps that go alongside the Illuminate, which have you fighting in like these small cities and towns where there's a bunch of buildings that are fully destructible. And I just like this environment a lot as well, because it's such a drastic change when you're fighting in those areas compared to the rest of the maps that we've gotten in the game so far. So lots of really positive stuff in that direction, and again, I highly recommend jumping into the game. As of right now, the vehicles are random spawns around the map. However, eventually, once we unlock them through quests, we will actually be able to have the vehicles be stratagems just like the mechs. So I'm very curious how that's going to work out, but overall they are very fun. They're really nice to move around the map really quickly, go from point to point, location to location. Just be careful, because you can drive off the map, you can get blown up. There's a lot there that you need to worry about, so it's not a free win condition for the game at this point. I do also really enjoy what we got with the new war bond. Now, obviously you have to pay real money or play the game an absolute ton in order to get enough medals to unlock the war bond, or enough credits to unlock the war bond, but overall it is worth it in my opinion, and this is my favorite one that we've gotten in quite some time. So going over that real quick, we did get the brand new directional shield. You'll see that in the gameplay. This is a giant front-facing shield that can block a lot of enemy damage. It does not really work against splash damage, but it is really effective against the zombie hordes, which I do enjoy, and it can be pretty powerful. You just will get absolutely nuked if you face the wrong enemies and there are rockets or anything of that nature. So be careful with that one. Next up, we have the Stun Lance, which is our first melee weapon in the game, and I have to admit, combining the directional shield with the Stun Lance is hilarious. You feel like a Roman gladiator, essentially just marching forward, stabbing everything in sight. It's not going to kill a lot of the tougher enemies in the game really well. You're not going to use this against a Bile Titan or anything like that, but for the rank and file, for some of the different missions, it actually is super effective, and I was using this quite a bit. I am incredibly happy to have this in the game. I do like the sidearms that we have currently, but this is a unique addition that changes up gameplay in a way that I want more of. I want more variety in the play styles that we do have, and this definitely provides that. So I am very much a fan of the Stun Lance so far, and I used it an absolute ton. We also have a Flame Sentry, which again, when you're looking at these zombie horde waves of enemies, will be very, very effective. I think is something that you could now do a flamethrower, Flame Sentry, fully flame build, incinerating everything if you so choose, and that's also pretty cool overall. It might not work against every enemy, but it will work against a lot of them overall. You also have the armed resupply pods. These are mounts a modified AR-23 Liberator to all resupply pods, allowing them to double as automatic turrets. That's hilarious, and honestly, one of my favorite boosters that we've gotten so far. It is one that I will be unlocking ASAP because it sounds quite funny and something that I'm going to love using in the middle of waves of enemies as well. Then from there, we got a lot of cosmetics, including the Roadblock helmet, which is one of my favorites. It does have the fin at the top, which again, definitely some Roman gladiator vibes with that one, and I very much enjoy that. And then we get the anti-tank emplacement, which is a mounted anti-tank rocket launcher essentially, which is heavy armor penetrating. It is a hell pod as well, so I do find this one to be interesting. I don't know if it's one I'll use often, but could come in handy depending on what you're doing. And then we also got a bunch more skins, including our first one for the vehicles that we got in the game, another one for the mechs, and then we got some emotes as well. This is Democracy, which is pretty solid overall. Anyway, as far as the war bond goes, I do think the addition of stratagems to the war bonds is a little bit tricky. Now, longtime players won't have a problem getting enough medals and credits in order to get every war bond and every item that they might want. However, players who are lapsed might struggle a little bit and might feel compelled to purchase things and spend money because that's the only way you're going to get the cool, fun stuff. I don't think any of the things that are unlockable are absolutely broken or necessary, and it doesn't seem like they're going to lock the vehicles behind any kind of war bond, which I think is a good idea because that would be incredibly frustrating. However, I do think that this monetization model is a little bit tricky for those who are more casual players and don't have time to get all the credits and medals and everything they might want. However, that being said, the game looks to be chugging along for the foreseeable future with a ton of new content. That content has to be paid for somehow, and I do think it's fine that we get this type of monetization model, especially when so much of it can be earned in game if you want to play a ton. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about the new update in the comments down below. I am really enjoying it. It's a great time to be back into Helldivers 2. I am someone who has not played a lot in recent time, but I can consider myself fully back, and I'll definitely be jumping in with friends, seeing how much fun I can have, what kind of destruction I can do, and how much fun we can have together. So I'm really excited to be back on the game, especially right now because it doesn't look like any new games are dropping for the next month and a half. So it is a time to catch up on some old favorites. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you just as excited as I am? My name is JoPa. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe as always. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.